Hey, what's up? This is a brief, by my standards, video in response to a comment on YouTube. The content of this is not going to come as a shock to anyone who's been familiar with my channel for, say, 1 year, maybe not even for 1 month. But it's an interesting comment, and my reply really, I think, reflects the kind of funny background I have in Buddhist philosophy, and how that continues to, in some ways, enrich my involvement in the political discourse here on vegan YouTube, as veganism takes its first faltering steps towards being a real political movement. Okay, Mad Blender writes to me and says, quote, whenever I would hear Freelee and Enduring writers say, quote, we helped them so much and they are just ungrateful, how dare they go against us, close quote, I would just cringe. I personally was inspired by Freelee to go vegan and am thankful I found her, but that doesn't mean I owe her anything. Even if she shouted me out and helped to increase my subscriber count or my view count, I would be grateful that she did that, but that doesn't mean I'm now forever indebted to her and can never criticize her. I felt the same way when Vegan Lass called out Vegan Cheetah. Just because they were friends doesn't mean she has to enable his bad behavior. He needed a reality check, and he took that as a betrayal. Period. I don't get it. Period. I've only seen a couple of Jack's videos, but I found him to be confusing, not really having any sort of direction, and definitely desperate for views. Close quote. I'm going to read my reply, but, I'd also say those are things I can sympathize with. I can sympathize. I mean, that's why I wanted to have Jack on my channel. So I wanted to promote him and do a YouTube, do a Skype conversation with him and post on YouTube as a podcaster, what have you. I think that's probably true that he is lacking direction and is desperate for views. But I'm not necessarily going to be scornful or hateful towards him for that. That's kind of a understandable human reaction to being marooned in the situation he's in, because he bought himself a plane ticket to paradise. He got there, figured out paradise wasn't at the other end of that plane ticket. Anyway, I think he is in a tough spot in terms of his transition away from the cult-like subculture within veganism, and hopefully he makes a transition to be engaged with a more meaningful, durable part of this vegan thing we got going on. All right, here was my reply as I wrote to Mad Blender. There's an image of a ringing bell. The fact that a bell wakes you up in the morning, or alerts you to a fire, saves your life, or suddenly changes your direction, doesn't mean that the bell knows something you don't know. And it doesn't mean that you should respect or revere the bell. In fact, it doesn't even mean that you should trust or rely on the same bell again. I think that many, many people had a sense of gratitude toward Freelee or other vegan personalities who happened to play the role of the ringing bell in alerting them to the reality of meat consumption, etc. So, like I said in the intro, that really comes straight out of my background in Buddhist philosophy, taking that image and putting that forward that way. I really don't have anything else to say about that. This is what people ask me all the time, is my laughter fake? No, it's completely sincere. I'm laughing all the time at the absurdity of my daily life, at the what's become normal in my life. But yeah, part of what makes my life so absurd is that I am someone who made a transition from having this kind of deep background in Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist textual study, etc., to now playing the role of one of the, clowns in the chorus, clamoring for, cultural and political change towards creating some kind of vegan society on any scale. I would settle for a small town in Michigan going vegan, okay? We're talking about a vegan society. What do you want? But, for sure, this reflects the practice I had. I've said recently that, even my experience in running a blog gave me practice for dealing with what I'm dealing with now on YouTube. Definitely my education in parliamentary democracy and political science and politics as such prepared me for what I'm doing here on YouTube. But it's also kind of interesting that once in a while, the discourse and debates that went on within Buddhist philosophy and within Buddhism as a religion prepared me for answering this kind of question. So yeah, the fact that the bell woke you up in the morning, the ringing bell saved you from fire burning your house down, doesn't mean that you owe the bell this sense of gratitude, of fealty. And obviously this has to do with, in case you don't know, it has to do with the role of gods in Buddhism. In Buddhism, they do believe in gods, plural, roughly similar to ancient Greek, plurality of gods, but they don't actually revere the gods in the way that Christians do, nor even in the way that the ancient Greeks do. Because there's a sense that the gods don't know anything that a human being wouldn't know, and they definitely don't know anything that, they don't know the special things that the Buddha knew and that the Buddha came into this world to teach. Blah blah blah.